I'll call this meeting of the International Falls City Council to order. It's Monday, October 6th, 2025 at 5:30. Please rise and we'll say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Buller is absent this evening. All other members present. To approve the agenda, are there any additions or deletions? If there isn't, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Thank you, Councilor Kaler.
Second.
Councilor Wagner with a second. Any discussion? Call the question.
Aye.
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 All vote yes. Agenda is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, approval of minutes from previous meetings. First, the minutes of the Monday, September 15th, public hearing on Fifth Avenue West. Second, minutes of the Monday, September 15th, regular city council meeting. Third and last, minutes of the Monday, September 22nd, special city council meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve them unanimously.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Holden. Is there discussion on approval of the minutes? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Minutes from previous meetings are approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, payments of claims and approval for payment of accounts payable. First, transfers, City of International Falls transfers to the general fund from the lodging tax fund, $1,226.49. Moving on to accounts payable and claims, City of International Falls claims, $842,468.95. Airport Commission claims, $42,810.03. Airport Major Capital Project claims $698,688. Airport Major Capital Project claims $689,365.61. Total accounts payable and claims $2,273,332.59. Is there a motion to approve payment to transfers and claims?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councilor Holden.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner. Is there discussion on the transfers and payments of claims? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. The bills are paid unanimously. Thank you. Next on this evening's agenda is audience open forum, the opportunity to come forward and discuss with the council. We would ask for your name and address for the record, and please limit to 5 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Lawrence Micus, 901 8th Street. I'd like to talk about the City of International Falls Public Works Department snow and ice control policy. I had sent pictures, emails to everybody last winter, and I had hoped to maybe get some resolution towards maybe looking at this policy again. I had asked if any of you guys were affected by this, if anybody in the city government was affected by it, if you gentlemen had been the ones that voted on this, because looking at the way this thing is written, I was told about a time that International Falls had 88 inches of snow, and I think that this ordinance is kind of like written around that. Now, I have a corner house, 165 feet of city sidewalk. I have a front sidewalk. I have a front porch, a back porch, 2 sets of stairs, a driveway, and the alley that I shovel. Now, 6 to 8 inches of Mother Nature snow falls, a lot of times it's nice and light, easy to move. The plow comes by, sees a clean sidewalk, figures it's fresh dumping ground to scrape the street back down to the asphalt. I turn around after finishing shoveling, and I've got ice bricks, ice boulders, probably 10 times as heavy and twice the accumulation of what I just spent 2 to 3 hours shoveling. And with this, the way this ordinance is written, it's like my responsibility. There was times I shoveled 3 times because the plow came by. A couple hours later, the plow comes by again. And my personal opinion is if they just go a little slower, they can easily just push the stuff to the side, and I wouldn't have to go through all this extra work. Like, in my opinion, I shovel 6 to 8 inches of snow, get a nice clean sidewalk, I've done my responsibility to my fellow citizens and to the city. To have to do it another 2 to 3 times because the plow is trying to get the street back down to asphalt makes no sense to me. I've had citizens thank me for shoveling the sidewalk. I see people walking on the street, which I can't see how that's safe. And just that, the fact that it says I have 48 hours to clean the sidewalk, or it's like I'm guilty of something. And just the whole thing just needs to be re-looked at, some more thought put into it, because it's just not right the way it is. And I can't believe, does anybody live on a corner lot adjacent to an avenue? I can't believe that I'm the only one in the city that is bothered by this. It just seems very disrespectful to do to a citizen.
Thank you, and we have discussed this last winter with
Yeah.
Mr. Wallace. I just want to make sure, my understanding was that you weren't being threatened to do so,
I wasn't what?
that we weren't necessarily enforcing the ordinance either. We want to
Well-
thank you for all that you do keeping the
Well,
sidewalks.
that's the thing, if we're not enforcing the ordinance, that's the part that probably bothers me more than anything. If we're not enforcing it, then take it off the books, and then I don't feel guilty not cleaning the sidewalk. Because what if I don't clean the sidewalk, somebody comes onto the sidewalk and trips and breaks their leg and decides that, it's an opportunity to sue me because I didn't clean the sidewalk. If it's not enforced, it shouldn't be on the books, or rewritten or something.
Duly noted, and I want to add one more thing. I'm not being contentious, because I'm the newest one here. I know that Bolton and Mink has some type of a control plan for the sidewalks, and I have it in my office on a big sheet. And one of the difficulties in the community with some of these things is the age of different segments. Like just behind us, 5th, 6th, 7th Street, I've seen instances where the sidewalk is in front of the garage door, and so that presents its own set of circumstances. So we'd certainly be willing to discuss it with you. I know that Director Wallace would be happy to continue discussing it.
Well, that's one of the things too, that it was suggested to me one time that I wait until after the plow comes by and then shovel. So you got 6 inches of Mother Nature's snow, you got the plow comes by that'll dump icebergs and ice bricks and snow boulders on top of that. So now you've got at least twice the height, probably 10 times the weight that you're trying to move. But the fact that it's like this repetitive thing where the plow sees a clean sidewalk and figures that's a place where they can dump some more, it just doesn't seem right. So, I know you helped me, before at the end of the year, and it seemed like it got a little better because the plow seemed to slow down. And I see the plow go by when it's going slower, and it pushes the snow up against the pile that's adjacent to the sidewalk.
Thank you, sir.
But when they feel the need to maybe go a little faster than they need to, then it's a different story. I've had bricks hit in my house, snow bricks. What's going to happen when they start breaking the windows?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have more time for public comments after you talk about the ambulance, or should I approach now?
There's an opportunity now or at the end, whichever you would prefer.
Well, maybe it'll give you something to discuss when you get to talking about the ambulance.
Please, and if someone would keep time, not because you're up here, Mrs. Tweet, just out of keeping the same standard
Helen
for comments.
Tweet, 3001 County Road 2 North, International, well, I live in a county. I'm wondering if you've made any headway with contacting a private entity such as North Memorial to take over our ambulance service. Has that happened? Have they-
Yes.
Do they have interest in exploring that possibility?
Very interested for a fee of their, a subsidy of their desire.
Okay. Another thing I've been made aware of is that the EMT class is going to start October 13th. And evidently 10 people have signed up for it, 4 of which are from Little Fork and intend to work for the Little Fork Ambulance Service when they complete the course. Currently, as most of you know, my son is one of your paramedics, and he works 4 days a week, and probably 3 of those 4 days, he works an extra minimum of 6 hours, backfilling for the EMTs that are currently trained that don't come to work. He's doing that this evening. He'll work till midnight from 6 o'clock this morning. Sometimes it's a full shift. I mean, I don't understand how you think you can run the ambulance service on a basic life support basis when you can't get the 22 EMTs that are on the books right now to come into work and fill these shifts. It's not logical to me. I know what he's doing every time he works and what he has to do, and I'm sure his coworkers are doing similarly. He said it's at least 1 shift a week and a minimum of 6 extra hours for each medic and sometimes more. So and the EMT course will go on till the end of February, so I guess I'm wondering if you have to change your motion, Mr. Kaler, to, not end the ALS necessarily at December 31st when the potentially new EMTs won't even be done until the end of February.
My motion wasn't to end ALS, it was to come to a decision of what we're gonna do,
Okay.
one way or the other.
Okay, so you're,
And that's what they're working on now, the mayor and Counselor Holden.
okay.
I would like to thank you for coming up and pointing out the things that you've pointed out.
Well, if you spend some time, go down and talk to these guys, the men and women that are in that department. I mean, they make it seem like it's running smoothly, but at whose expense? I mean, they're putting in a lot of hours. And who's to say those 10 people, the 6 new EMTs they train, will sign on and be willing to work? I mean, I don't know why there's so many of them that don't, why take the training? They have to pay for it if they're not gonna work for the city. I just don't understand.
Yeah, and I want to thank your son too, Mr. Tweet, for his service. I want to be careful though, you asked Mr. Kaler about what his position was. I'll be very clear about it. If we do not get a joint powers taxing district for the 989 square mile area, my vote is to end ALS. The other thing that I find interesting that you've touched on is the staffing problem that you're pointing out. How are we gonna staff the ambulance? That's a problem that has existed in many towns before it turned into a money problem. So it almost seems like this has come backwards, in the sense of how it has occurred. Like, I keep going back to Nashwauk, and I know that, I'm looking at Counselor Kaler because I know he drove to the meetings when that happened. We know what happened there. We know what it cost. I was just out in Birchdale today and heard from many citizens who lived out there how important they thought ALS was. So the nature of what the council does, I genuinely believe is to have an ambulance, to have the service that we know, to have it staffed. It's just that we can't pay for it unless we have help.
Well, I hope that happens. I
Me
mean,
too.
I mean, it's ridiculous for any of us that don't live in the city to expect a service like that for nothing. It's totally ridiculous. You don't get your cell phone service for nothing. I mean, I don't get it. Yeah, and another thing, I don't know, this mailer that came from Grant Housechild's office, did you all get that?
Are you keeping time?
I thought it was fairly interesting that in here it says that in 2024, International Falls Ambulance got $207, almost $208,000. In 2023, we got $251,000 from the state, and according to the county board members that I've talked to, they gave the city $125,000 toward the purchase of ambulances in 2023. I mean, that's a lot of money. Has it been earmarked for ambulances? Where is it? Is it in a fund that's gonna pay for this new ambulance that's being delivered in March, or?
Mrs. Tweet, to the council, are you amendable to allowing to go over the 5
Yeah.
minutes? Yeah, to answer your question, is what's happening there is that when we operate the ambulance service in the deficit without covering that shortfall on the front end, it doesn't really matter. But is what happens is there becomes a loan to that fund from the general fund. And that theoretically grows and grows and grows to about 2.1 million today. Rough numbers, not an exact amount. If you came forward and said, I'd like to give the city $100,000 to buy an ambulance, that $100,000 gets applied to the ambulance debt and the money goes back to the general fund. The money was never there to begin with. It's an equation of changing the level of debt. Then when the money goes back to the general fund, and we have a year where we don't have a surplus and our expenses exceed revenues, our reserves in the general fund go down. So it's talked about a lot, but it's an interesting accounting equation to comprehend. But yes, those public dollars to help ambulance funds, the city has been receiving, I'm sure, in the amount that you've pointed out.
Well, I know that the county board approached Rainier. I was at the meeting to get a taxing district to help fund equipment. Okay? So if our taxing district is designated for funding equipment, and yet you're gonna continue this way of bookkeeping, and it's just all gonna go into the general fund to offset the debt, how are you ever gonna pay for an ambulance if that money isn't getting earmarked for it? And if that's how they set up their taxing district, that's a lot confusing to me.
I would say this, that if there was a taxing district proposed as such, the city council would have to agree to that.
Okay.
I'm not going to speak on their behalf. I'm not sure that I support that. Not only that, the OEMS is ultimately going to decide who holds the ambulatory service certificate. And I believe that when Administrator Bergstrom and Chief Manassa went through that process some time ago, say 3 or 4 years ago, that the way that the district is created, that wouldn't, the person who holds, my understanding is that the person who holds the certificate or the municipality also must be in the district, in the taxing district. So whether that holds muster or not, I don't think we can answer
So
quite yet.
everyone would have to agree to how the taxing district, is spent, the money is spent, basically, to simplify it. Is
If-
that what you're saying? I mean, if the county wanted it to go toward equipment and the city of Rainier wanted it to go toward equipment, you would have to agree to that, and that's where it would go. And if you didn't agree to it, then the whole taxing district thing would fall apart?
If everybody agreed
You as in the city?
to opt into it.
Okay.
There's some gross technicalities to all of this, and that's, I think, what's made it so difficult. It wasn't that long ago that this was pretty close to being over the finish line
Yeah.
in its entirety. So it's difficult, but, and very technical. And I think that the downside or the downfall to this that I want to communicate is that most people that we hear from just want to know that there's an ambulance service and that they're
Exactly.
willing to pay for it. And we have people working extra hours and whatever they can do to provide the service that we have.
And I still believe that a public meeting for people to get informed. I talk to lots of people about this is my thing. And, they have no idea of the fine details of all of this and how much it costs and any of it. I mean, they need to be made aware that you just don't call 911 and magically it costs and I don't know. I just think a public meeting again, I know that happened in 2023, and give people an opportunity to hear all this before they're getting an assessment on their taxes. Explain it, that it's, why we're doing it. We need it. But anyway, I'll stop talking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Nancy Imhoff, 339 3rd Street. I hadn't planned to address the council, but as long as we're talking about snow and winter, I'm wondering, could you guys talk to Mike Wallace about the Main Street plowing situation? I know, Mayor, that you and I talked a little bit last winter about it, but I don't want to criticize those guys because I think they do a really good job, but there's an issue on Main Street in the mornings. I know they go out really early and they plow, but if it's a heavy snowfall, they don't clear it off along the sides of the road, and so for a whole day, people can't park because they can't a lot of people can't get over the hump from the curb to the sidewalk. I want to, it's not that busy, like, right away in the mornings, so even if they could just take a second swipe to, a quick second swipe to clear what they pushed against the curb, that would be great. So there's probably not very many cars parked there, even after 9 o'clock, that they probably would be able to swing in and clean up most of that before the day gets going, if they could kind of figure out a time frame, how it works with their schedule. And like the main thing for me, and probably other businesses, is the month of December. Like, the month of December can be make or break it for a lot of us retailers. And if you have a day or two, because of heavy, it could be 5 or 6 days if it's a snowy month, where people aren't gonna come uptown and shop because they can't walk over the curb to get, onto the sidewalk and into a store. That's a big deal financially for us. December's a a critical month. So I'm just gonna ask that if you're gonna talk about this other situation with this, the plowing and stuff too, if maybe they can figure out a way to make that happen. I don't know. Sometimes there's a pile in the middle of the road, but not all the time, so I don't know. I didn't notice that as much this year, or on the ends, except for huge snowfalls. But if there's just some way that instead of leaving that stuff piled up by the curb where people can't park, or walk over it, if there's a way, if they start a little earlier in the morning, or just take a look and see if there's not a whole bunch of cars parked on either side, I'm sure they can kinda, if someone's parked, they might get plowed in, I don't know. But if there's a way to kinda scrape up as much as they can after that first run-through, I would appreciate it, and I'm sure many other retailers would too. It just makes it kinda dangerous. It's, besides the lack of business, it's also a dangerous thing. I see little old people trying to step over that big hump to get into a building, and that's not very safe, so if there's a discussion that you can have with Mike or whoever, Public Works, I'd really appreciate it.
We're on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will move on, knowing that there is another opportunity towards the end of the meeting. We do have an item on the consent agenda this evening. Requires a unanimous vote to approve, and while I smile, no discussion. To approve, allow necessary expenses for the mayor and city councilors and/or administrator to attend the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Fall Conference in Grand Rapids, November 13th, 14th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Kaler and Wagner. And the question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Consent agenda is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, we move to new business. Acknowledge receipt of Charter Commission's approval of the form and substance of the proposed amendment to the Home Rule Charter to impose levy limits. This is a council action to acknowledge receipt. Is there an update on this item where it's at? Obviously, the council's gonna move to acknowledge, but whether it's sufficient or, please.
I can.
Thank
I
you.
don't have sufficiency as of yet, Mayor. Officially, we just received it on Thursday, the email that you and myself received from the chair of the Charter Commission indicated that, as you said there, that the Charter Commission approved form and substance. Therefore, they forwarded to us as a city to then determine sufficiency of the petition itself, as per that state statute 410.12. And I'm currently working with the county auditor treasurer's office. They are the election authority, along with Secretary of State and the city attorney, with any questions I have as we confirm that. And I'm very close to having a final for that. I have 10 days from last Thursday, and I will have that probably, hopefully tomorrow, I will have that letter prepared and ready for that 5-member citizen group.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you for the update.
Welcome.
Is there a motion to acknowledge receipt of the form and substance?
I'll move.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler. Is there a second? Motion dies of lack of support.
Mayor, if I may,
Please.
I have looked up some of the statute on this. Certainly, you don't necessarily have to acknowledge receipt, but the city council can't prevent it to going to a vote if sufficiency is determined. So I just want a heads up there.
That whether it's acknowledged or not, that
Correct.
wouldn't change the outcome.
Statutorily, we can't deny, the city council can't deny sending it to a vote as long as sufficiency is determined, even if acknowledgement isn't received.
Thank you
Okay.
for getting that on to the record. That's, I believe, I don't have my mayor's handbook. I believe that I could second a motion.
You can.
It's not something that I would generally look to do, and the motion has died. At this point, we will move on to the second item of new business, which is Public Safety Committee meeting recommendations to discuss suspension of calendar parking for Zion Lutheran Church each Sunday from 9 a.m. to noon. And I believe Mr. Peterson is here to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last winter, we were approved for a 90, what you have there is just kind of refresh your memory of what blocks we're talking about here, and we're only talking two. And that is the south side of the street on 6th and the west side on 6th, just those two, that's all. And we were approved, I believe, for a 90-day permit to park on both sides of that area during church service only, not during weddings, funerals, or any other time. To my knowledge, and we had a discussion both with the police department, the fire department. They shared their concerns, and that was taken into consideration before it was approved. To my knowledge, there's been absolutely no issues whatsoever that I'm aware of. I would like it permanent, but possibly, I don't know if you could put something in there to rescind it if there's some big issue that comes up over it or whatever that's, changes it. But we have, to my knowledge, we've had 0 complaints on it, 0. That's pretty easy.
Well, thank you. First of all, Chief Manassa, do you have comments or concerns on this issue as it probably directly affects you and Chief Koscheck?
I believe my comments are included in the packet. I guess germane to Zion Lutheran Church, I don't have any problems direct with that location. My concerns are more overarching with calendar parking and the suspension of it. So part of the reason calendar parking is in place is also so that emergency vehicles can access a building while it's in use as well. So we've had other situations where we've relaxed or rescinded calendar parking for various reasons. And again, to Mr. Peterson's point, we have not had an issue at that building, but we have in other instances.
Thank you.
And I guess consistency is all I'm sure the police chief feels, but that's where I'm at.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Koscheck, do you have concerns?
I would just echo that, be consistent and impartial in our enforcement. And also, if we do this, maybe considering temporarily lifting it from 9 to 3 for the entire city and see what impact that has. I don't agree with just not enforcing one portion. And naturally, everyone's going to wonder why we're writing in one area and not the other. So we do that with the PCA calendar parking as well. And like was brought up, if we have an issue, we can always address it at another meeting if we run into problems there.
Thank you, Chief. Floor is open for discussion. Please, Councilor Wagner.
I agree with both of our chiefs. Either we have calendar parking or we don't. We can't keep doing these individual exceptions. It's not gonna work. It creates a lot of problems for Chief Koscheck, I know, so. That's just my feelings.
I agree with that.
Thank you, Counselor.
I would be amenable to keep it consistent, and while people do that, suspend it from 9 to 3 every Sunday.
That, that's where my mind is going. One is I'm hesitant to do anything permanently. Because that opens a whole nother set of circumstances. I'm stepping way outside of my realm, but I think that whether it's church, activities or other things that people do and enjoy in our community, that we don't want to hesitate them from doing such, but how can we be consistent?
Or 9 to
would add to
noon,
it.
9, whatever the time, I don't think it was 9 to 3.
You know, because I work for the county, and so the city kind of has created its own issues. And I deal with that a lot, where you have commercial and residential areas, residential and commercial, churches with no parking, churches with a lot of parking, businesses with no parking, you know what I mean? And it's been allowed, and now you're coming around to when the calendar parking is very, very important. I support that 100%, I really do. But I think also you have to take into consideration special circumstances. We do that all the time. I mean, you can, lay down something, but it doesn't always fit everything 100%. You make exceptions, as long as safety is concerned. And, the safety you talk about is, whether it be fire department, city, whatever. If you're gonna talk safety, you think about, the people going to church that are very elderly, that have to walk a considerable distance on ice and snow because they can't park right in front of the church. That really makes no sense to me. I can understand if you prohibit overnight parking, all the kinds of parking, if you got funerals, weddings, all that kind of stuff. We're asking for, 2.5 hours from 9 to noon, when it's probably not, the least busiest time of the whole week, I don't know. And we've had no issues. That's the bottom line. We've had no issues whatsoever.
Most churches that are in town have their own parking lots, from what I can tell, and yours doesn't.
No.
And that was the issue when we went through this the first time and did the trial period. So,
Not to interrupt, but a lot of it has to do when the churches were built,
right.
and
So your point about if we did it for 9 to noon for the whole town, does that really, that goes back to a Chief Manasek question, but does that really affect that many places other than your place of worship?
St. Thomas doesn't have a parking lot, as far as I know.
By the playground?
They don't use the street.
Pardon?
They don't use the street?
I'm sorry, Ken.
No.
St. Thomas does use the street as well, yes.
Yeah.
So it could benefit their needs as well if we did a blanket.
We're talking about doing a blanket 3-hour period for around the hole.
That's what Counselor Kaler
Right.
has suggested.
Yeah. What do you think?
No, but
Oh.
that's just me.
yeah, right.
Please, Chief Koscheck.
I would, alleviate your concerns, Councilor Wagner, maybe a temporary one, just to study the effects for a few months of just putting on the 9 to 12 for the city. I completely agree with the concerns for the elderly. I want to extend it to the whole city for that period and just not write down the parking for that period. Now, if we run into issues, I can bring them forward to the council or the public safety committee.
Yeah.
We can reapproach the issue.
Why don't we,
I just think my concern is being fair and consistent with the whole community and offering the same.
why don't we try a temporary 9 to 12?
citywide.
citywide.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second by Counselor Kaler.
What was the motion now?
To do a temporary suspension
So
of,
we can look at it after so many months to see how it works out.
For 9
No,
to,
I-
From 9 to 12
Yeah,
through the whole city.
I have no problem with that. I mean, that's what you do.
that would keep things consistent for you as such. Now, is the council amendable to those motions until revoked by the council? Because I don't believe there was a sunset
Yeah.
date put on it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Please.
Are we just doing Sunday or every day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Every-
That's a good question, though.
Okay.
It is.
Are we doing Sunday, or we don't know?
Let's go with Sunday,
I would agree with that. that
Sunday.
This was brought forth as a church
Yeah,
discussion.
Right.
During that time.
And one question, you want it in place unless revoked? Unless
for
revoked
temporary,
by the council?
right, till, if it's revoked. Yep, plus revoked.
I thought it was a steady. So do we have a sunset on it?
Yeah, we should, how
gotta have a
about,
sunset.
how long do we, I mean,
How many
9
months?
How long do you want to ask Chief Kotrick?
Chief, what period of time would you like to study this issue?
Let's do 3 months.
I was gonna say at end of the year.
Okay, I'll add that. for
90
3
days.
months, 90 days.
And are both motion
Yeah.
Yeah.
makers amendable? Thank you. Is there discussion, or do any of, does anyone need clarification who's taking minutes? Thank you.
Got it.
No more discussion or discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mr.
Start the
Peters.
90 days, November 1st.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will move to item 3 on new business, which is to acknowledge the resignation of Aiden Litfin, patrol officer, effective October 3rd, 2025. Would like to thank him for his service to our department. Is there a motion to acknowledge this resignation?
I'll move.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Wagner. Is there discussion?
He was a quiet neighbor, I can tell you that.
Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Acknowledgement is confirmed unanimously. Thank you. Item 4, acknowledge resignation of Todd Ojala, Information Systems Administrator, effective October 22nd, 2025, and move discussion of replacement to the October 13th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting. Would like to thank Mr. Ojala for his service to our community as well. Is there a motion to acknowledge this resignation?
Well, before we make the motion, I worked with Todd here, in the IT, visiting different things, and I think he did a great job. I want him to know that. We all have our reasons for whatever if we decide to move on. But I want to let the people know that Todd did an excellent job. Whenever there was a problem with anything to do with our IT system, he was right there to work on it, and he did a good job. So I want him to know that. I'd just soon have him stay. It is what it is, right? So, anyways, that's about what I got to say, so.
Thank you, Counselor Holden.
I would concur with Counselor Holden's comments that, yes, thank him for all the help he did.
Motion to accept the
Thank
resignation.
you, Counselor Wagner.
Second.
Second on the floor by Counselor Kaler. More discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Motion of acknowledgement is approved unanimously. Thank you. Item 5, approve renewal of 2026 dental plan that covers retirees and hourly library employees. Some very simple changes in the renewal rate per person per month of about $2 to $5 per month. Mrs. Stensland, do you have any comments or concerns?
The only thing I would add to that is a lot of that is pay-own, which means the retirees are paying for that on their own. So the cost to the city really is $67 per month or $805 per year.
Understood, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Counselor.
Second?
Counselor Holden.
That's what I get for being nice.
Counselor Wagner. Discussion. And the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Dental plan is approved unanimously. Thank you. Consider a resolution declaring adequacy of petition and ordering preparation of feasibility study for bituminous paving of 6th Avenue West between 17th Street and 18th Street.
Mayor, if I may.
Please.
For clarification, thank you. One of the residents there pointed out, I do have a typo on the resolution. It should be between 17th Street and 19th Street. It encompasses the 1700 block and the 1800 block, which was in the documentation attached, but it should say 19th Street on the resolution.
Understood, and it would be understood now what the motion would be if there is one by council. Thank you. And just because of the way some of these things work, could either you or Jason explain what's actually going on here so that everyone watching from afar or here tonight understands the process?
So, Mayor and Council, the citizens have the right to petition and go to their neighbors and ask them to assist in paying for improvements in their area. They need to, in the documentation attached in the packet, have at least 35% of the property owners of the footage. You're using the front footage of the area in which they want improved. So 35% of the people need to have a yes vote and sign the petition to move this to the city council for consideration. The petition was presented to me. I then gave it to our engineer. He has confirmed that it does meet that 35% requirement of the residents in the area, and that then it would come to you as the council to approve the accuracy of the 35%, and then order the Bolton and Mink, our engineering firm, to then move forward with the feasibility. That feasibility is something that the city pays for. The residents would only pay for the improvement itself. So as per statute, the council does not have to, technically move forward. You're not required to do so, but it is part of the process in, having citizens come forward with a petition for improvement of a street that's adjacent to them.
Thank you. Because these are things consistent with all communities and people generally wanting to improve their residences, do we have a cost on the feasibility or an estimate?
No, that's what we are moving forward today, is with this resolution, would be approving them to prepare that feasibility study.
For our review?
Yes.
Understood.
Correct.
Thank you. Questions from council? Would entertain a motion to approve this resolution declaring adequacy of the petition and authorize feasibility study.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Counselor Holden.
I'll second.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler. Is there discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Adequacy is determined unanimously. Thank you. It's that time of year as we move to item 7, which is to adopt a council resolution approving delinquent water and sewer accounts to be certified to the county auditor treasurer, in which at that point, if I am correct, will then be assessed to property taxes. And this time of year, we go through several of these, usually over several meetings. If there's not questions, I would entertain a motion to approve these delinquencies and getting them to the county.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you, Counselors Holden and Wagner. Is there discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Number 8, to adopt a resolution approving delinquent grass and blight invoices to be certified to the county.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Counselor Wagner.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Holden. Is there discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Delinquent grass and blight can be sent to the county and approved unanimously. 9, adopt a resolution approving delinquent rental license invoices to be certified to the county auditor and treasurer. Is there a motion to do so?
Keep rolling, boys.
So moved.
Thank you, Counselor Wagner.
I'll second.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler with a second. Is there discussion? Vote to approve. Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Approved unanimously for delinquent rental license invoices to be certified by the county. Thank you. 10, adopt resolution approving delinquent building permit invoices to be certified to the county. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
By Counselor Holden.
Second.
By Counselor Wagner. Is there discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 Well, yes, motion carries unanimously 4-0. Thank you. Item 11, a resolution approving delinquent garbage accounts to be certified to the county auditor treasurer. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Wagner. Quite the string of them. Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. 11 is approved unanimously. Thank you. Okay, I'll catch my breath. Next, on new business for this evening's council meeting, discuss International Falls ambulance service. We are continuing discussions. Some of the discussion happened already when Mrs. Tweet came forward and information was shared. I am working and I'm going to be reaching out to Administrator Bergstrom, to Counselor Holden, and to Lois in the audience to have a roundtable at Bacchus with all parties that are interested in the creation of a taxing district or supporting this service. It'll take a little bit of figuring out, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks or less, because the clock is ticking on this. The county, regardless of the outcome, they've been to Rainier. There's discussions happening behind the scenes, but at the end of the day, we know where the service is at. It's a good service. There's support for the service. We have to get everyone on board.
I agree.
Thank you, Counselor Kaler. We'll move on at this time to other business. Had the opportunity at 4 p.m. to travel west to Birchdale, where a new state wildlife management area was named in honor of Senator Bob Lassard and our late mayor, Mayor Anderson. It was well attended, and a very, very nice, well thought out event. Also would like to point out that The state bonding tour is underway, began today, in which the House bonding tour is touring the state, looking at some projects that are new, and they will be, I believe, in Ely on Wednesday night, for cities, counties, and other entities to plead their case for funds for whatever capital projects we may have. At this point, unless there is discussion or from council anything, we can move back to audience open forum, which would be the same opportunity as what we had earlier in the meeting. Please, Councilor Wagner.
Do you know if we'll get a chance to talk to the bonding group or anybody? Somebody?
Yes, I am planning on attending.
Okay, you're going to Ely?
Yes,
Okay.
at 6 PM at Vermillion Community College.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Open forum?
Please.
We're going to go through the boards, committees, and departments.
Come on up, sir.
Come on, Russ.
We get set, it says reports of all boards, committees, and that, and then you went to open forum.
We typically don't read them. They are available.
How come they're not passed out in here, I guess? My name's Russ Nagel,
Yes.
601 10th Street.
Please. For your information, we email out the packets, and I can't speak for this evening, but normally there's a box with full packets at the door. I think that someone may be going to grab one for you or find one. Thank you.
Okay, I thought we were supposed to be saving money for the city. So now we're approving the city administrator and the mayor to go to a party in Grand Rapids? The coalition of cities, we're supposed to be saving money. So how much is that gonna cost the city? Just an estimate.
Well, I'm not going, Russ, so I'll save you some money, okay? I'm going deer hunting,
Okay.
just to let you know.
I just want, I'm just looking at your agenda and what, some things that I'm talking.
That's something, you know something, Russ?
Concern me.
That's something that the city does. They send people to get informed, and that's one of the ways they do it.
For the snow plowing issue. So don't we have a snow plower or snow plow machine that is a snow blower that runs in the city, on the streets?
Yeah, you mean the big one?
The big
Like
one?
they take up that
Okay,
they,
so why can't they take the stuff off the edge of the streets downtown at the same time?
I don't think they can get that close to the sidewalks with that thing. That's why they windrow it down the middle. Because you gotta have a truck coming on this side and the blower going down the windrow.
but, excuse me, Rob, I'm sure you've already, I saw you taking notes that we'll be talking about that at the Public Works, the snow removal committee.
We
Right.
will be, and I know that Mr. Wallace will be very receptive.
Yeah, he
This-
always try to do what he can.
Mrs. Imhoff is not the only one that has brought this up of the business owners on Main Street. So,
And the other issue is we have a sweeper that they sweep the sidewalks out here. I would like the snow plow sweeper to sweep every sidewalk in the city, not just the front of the building here. That would eliminate his problem of getting snow on the sidewalk after he shovels it. Why can't we have somebody in charge of doing that? It'd be a change that would be a benefit to this people in this city. Most of us are elderly, walking, and then, like you said, you have to clean your own sidewalk. What's it gonna take? A few more hours?
to have the city tend to the sidewalks.
Yes.
In those areas. Well, we're happy to ask Mr. Wallace about that. I will see to it that Counselor Kaler and I are on the Public Works Committee where we set aside 2 or 3 hours to discuss the ins and outs of these, and that if it is something attainable that the council approved, that we have the resources to do so.
I know I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to. So we have policemen running around all night long. Why can't they do it at night when they're running around on the sweeper? Is it against the law? Is it against, I mean, why can't we have them running it? If we want to change things, we want to make things better for people, right? They're patrolling the streets anyway, right? Supposedly.
Well, Russ, I think that the police have got enough to do with all the different things they get called on. I watch what happens in the town.
All at night?
They don't need to be running around on a snowplow,
Okay, all right.
okay?
All right, it's fine. The other thing, dental plan for retirees, how much is the city paying for the dental plans for the retirees?
If
Did I hear that right?
That's a technical question that probably, if that's something you'd like to know, I'd encourage you to make an information request.
She said something, a number, she said a number.
Like 800 some per
Yeah.
month?
It's gonna be $2.50 or $5 a month, but what is it? The total after that?
$67.12 per month that it's increasing the cost to the city. Most of the people are paying their own, or it's the library folks, or it's the sewer district folks. So that's what the cost is to the city, $67.12. This is my understanding, it is an agreement that the city came to many years ago with these retirees, and it's something that can't be changed. I don't know if anyone else can speak to that more than I would be able to.
Thank you. And Mr. Nagel,
If you would like more information, like the mayor said, a data request would probably be the best way to get that.
thank you, Sherry. Counselor Wagner there has been 5 minutes, but Mr. Nagel, I would encourage you to come forward anytime or reach out. We're happy to help.
My last one, I'm guessing, is how many retirees are getting this benefit from the city? That's another, that I just have to ask for
Mr.
that
Nagel,
permission.
Counsel, are you amendable to his final question?
I am
Okay.
okay with it.
Are you
I don't
Counselor?
know the number, Russ,
Or
but I know what the city did a long time ago is they stopped having insurance for the retirees, okay? There was a time when the salary people had, but now there's none.
There's nobody collecting that, Mike? Is that what
Just
you're
a
saying?
few that are left that are still alive, but when they're gone, it's all done,
Okay.
okay?
I will work with you to get you an answer, because in our city audit, and it's something that admittedly I do not totally understand tonight, the city has, I believe, what's called pension liability, as most municipalities have, and I'd like to have a better understanding of that myself.
And I think these are, no offense, older employees that they retired quite some time ago,
Yeah.
and that was
That's
like
what I was talking about,
the cutoff point.
right.
Of-
Once it was
It used to
done,
be everybody.
it was done except for what was left till they pass away. Then it's finished. It goes way back.
And that is something that the auditor watches, and in the city of Duluth, when Don Ness was mayor, the city of Duluth took it to the state Supreme Court and won to reduce the benefits to keep the town solvent. So it was interesting at the time, but thank you, Mr. Nagel.
Thanks.
Let's see.
Seeing no further audience comment this evening, I'll move on to correspondence, which is on file in our packet from the CVB meeting of June. And reminders The next regular city council meeting is on October 20th, which is a Monday at 5:30 PM. Is there anything additional to come before the council? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.